Hello and welcome to Weird Around Illinois. As some of you know, we got some sad news yesterday for the paranormal community. We lost Shetan Noir last week, ironically, just about a day after she recorded the podcast with us. I think that's probably why we're so deeply affected by this, even though we literally only knew the woman for 24 hours. But I'll tell you a little bit about her. For those of you who don't know her and maybe didn't listen to our podcast, she's been in cryptozoology for over 25 years, a cryptozoologist, author of many books on topics from cryptids to,
lake monsters,
ghosts, paranormal phenomenon, paganism. She was the owner and head writer of the Squatch GQ family of magazines, which included like 4 different magazines, including one on rock collecting or rock hunting, strangely enough, which seemed like an odd fit, but it kind of matched her personality. She just seemed to have a thirst for knowledge and loved knowing things and learning things.
Yeah, and she showed that when we somewhere around June 26th like almost a week before we got in contact with her. We emailed her to do an interview because she did have a ton of knowledge, and it would have benefited a lot of people.
Yeah, specifically like the history and a lot of like lake monsters and all kinds of different cryptids. She was really knowledgeable about that.
Yeah, and just to backtrack a bit, we kind of indirectly met her through Barnaby Jones,
Right.
who we'd seen at Paranormal Chicago, and I started watching a bunch of his podcasts, and she kept coming up as a frequent guest on his podcast. He later told me that she may have been his most frequent guest. He's even got one more coming out with her at the end of the month that was pre-recorded. But as I was listening to him interview her on a variety of topics, the one fact that kind of jumped out at me is that she really did a great job of describing how cryptids interact with the natural world and comparing them to known animals and how they interact with the natural world.
Yeah.
And we kind of needed somebody like that to go over our Canadian Wildfires Part 2 podcast.
Yep. Yeah, that sums up what led to our video that got posted. Actually, by the time recording comes out, the other day.
Yeah. And it was heartbreaking. It was an hour or two after we posted it, we started getting the responses that she had passed away, and we had no clue.
Yeah.
I think I'd even mentioned at one point I had emailed her like maybe an hour after our podcast went up, all excited, saying, "Hey, the part 1 of the podcast is up."
Yeah.
And, obviously that's one she never got to see.
Yeah. We recorded that on June 26th. I was editing that, and I was really because we discussed that we were on a high streak because our goal has been to have good conversations with people, get in contact with as many people as possible. This was not in anywhere near a bucket list or anything that would happen.
Yeah.
It was just really surprising. A day after we recorded that, apparently she passed away like 24 hours later.
And I'd actually been looking forward to future podcasts with her. I mean, we kind of alluded to that at the end of part 2, which people probably haven't heard yet. But, we were talking about, the other areas where our interests intersect. And, heartbreakingly, she was talking about her future projects she has coming up too. And, I thought this was really the beginning of something really special with us. I thought we were going to have like a regular guest on the podcast who could help us out with some of those facts that we need help with.
Yeah.
But as profoundly as we are feeling her loss, I mean, all you need to do is look at, some of the other websites around, the other paranormal websites, and you'll see the whole community is feeling it. I mean, this woman touched so many lives and, put out so much good information. I mean, she was working tirelessly when she was doing the magazines, and she was explaining how, she was the magazine. I mean, she was doing the writing, she was getting the guests, she was doing the interviews, she was doing the layout. I mean, she was just a one-woman wrecking crew.
Yeah, she even put her life into that. She dedicated her life to that passion project.
Yeah. So, we just wanted to take a few minutes here to kind of share our thoughts on her. And again, we are not the most qualified people to talk about her. We knew her for exactly 24 hours. But in that time, we knew we were dealing with somebody special, and she will be missed.
Yeah. I do appreciate those who commented on that video. I didn't even know they'd be aware of her, to be honest, but I was very grateful that they brought that to our attention.
Yeah. I mean, obviously for us, it was at the time we were absolutely flabbergasted about that because it was so unbelievable. But then, I mean, it's good that they brought it up. I'm thankful that they brought it up.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate you guys for that.
Yeah. And again, sorry to have a downer here on one of our podcasts. We usually try to be more upbeat, but sometimes you just have to recognize the moment and just feel what you have to feel to move on. So, as always, we thank you for listening and thank you for going on this journey with us. And tell your loved ones how you feel about them, because tomorrow isn't promised. We've been learning that a lot this summer, and it's not a lesson you want to save till the last minute, because you may not get that last minute.
Age 50 though, we didn't know any of her, if she had medical problems or any of that. We really don't know, but it's just such a young age, so it really proves that anything can happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And we will be back next week. Maybe with part 2 of the interview, maybe with something else. We really need to kind of think about it and decide what she would have wanted, and, what our audience wants, and, how to move forward tastefully and respectfully on this. So,
right.
Thank you.